What's going on, y'all? What it is? So let's go ahead and slide on this topic, and I want to talk about the ex-Danity Kane member Dawn Richards, who has come out and said that Diddy has done some sinister things in her presence, and now she's suing Diddy. She basically has witnessed Cassie being physically abused and Kim Porter leaving the studio with bruises on her face and a busted lip and things like that. And so she said that there's an instance where Diddy came into her dressing room and basically touched her inappropriately, and now she's suing Diddy. Dawn also took it upon herself to name drop a couple of R&B superstars within this lawsuit because she said that they were present when Cassie was getting violated, and she name dropped Neo and Usher. And listen, a lot of people are giving Neo and Usher flack. These are two R&B dudes. You think they have the chops to stand up to Diddy? I don't believe that those two guys wanted that type of smoke. All right, Usher already witnessed a lot of things being under Diddy's stewardship. So do you think that he really wants to go there with Diddy, someone that pushed his career along and things like that? And listen, when you take everything in its totality, when you have rappers and former bodyguards of Diddy that were afraid to check Diddy in real time as soon as he did some disrespectful ish in their presence, what makes you think that Neo and Usher are gonna stand up? And I will say that the only individual that spoke up and stood up was Gene Deal, so everybody except Gene Deal in this particular situation as it pertains to someone who is not afraid to call Diddy on his BS. Now, I'm not saying that Usher and Neo shouldn't have stood up. I'm just saying that they're not built like that. But anyway, what I want to do right here is play you guys a couple of clips of people breaking down this lawsuit that Dawn Richards has against Diddy. And then I want to read you all this interesting email that I received this morning. Now, this email is very, very weird in my opinion. I think you guys want to stick around for that because she didn't want me to disclose her email addy and things like that, but she gave me a few numbers. Like, she only said within the email that I'm gonna give you a number to my assistant, right? But she gave me a few numbers, and a couple of those numbers were numbers that directed me to law firms. So guys, I want you all to stick around for that. Let me go ahead and roll these clips.
Y'all on a hate Puffy bandwagon, but guess who else needs to be added to that list? These opportunists like Dawn Richards, who out the blue now after working with Puffy for decades, almost 20 years, now wants to come out and say all these things. And if you ask me, she's exploiting other women's victimizations to try to get herself a damn payday. How dare you come out here talking about Neo, Jimmy Iovine, and Usher were around when Puffy Cassie, but baby girl, you were there as well. And you were a whole woman in the situation and watched another woman get victimized. And for you to say that you had seen Kim Porter be violated and you knew that was a threat to your life, but a year later, you also saw Cassie, so you stayed around, even though supposedly you thought that was some type of threat to your life, how he was treating his girlfriend. You stayed around, didn't report it, didn't go to the police, anything. And even when your own bandmate, Aubrey, this is why I really don't respect you. When Aubrey was out here trying to say the truth and give the signal out, you ain't say nothing. What'd you do? You was with him when making a band. You did Making a Band too. You did Danity Kane. You came out with Dirty Money, and your did the Love album with them, but now, and was happy, if y'all remember. But guess what's going on for Dawn right now? She got a tour, she got an album, so now she want to be a victim. And I don't know what them sales are hitting on, but ain't nobody worse than people that will use somebody else's pain to try to benefit. You ain't asking for no type of criminal convictions with this man, and everything in the lawsuit is about what you witnessed with somebody else. There's only one place where you say this man supposedly came in a dressing room and f***ed you or touched you. That's it. That's all you saying. And I don't know how long ago that was, but you damn sure didn't call the police. And I'm sorry. If someone physically assaults me, I'm calling the damn police, because calling the police does not mean you can't get no money. There's a reason why she only wants money but doesn't want any type of criminal charges. Come on, man. I'm sorry. It ain't working over here.
Danity Kane's Dawn Richards lawsuit against Diddy is worse than what is even being reported by the media. Dawn Richards has so many crazy allegations against Diddy in this lawsuit. I mean, she's talking about minor She is talking about freak off parties. She is talking about trafficking. She is talking about Kim Porter. She is talking about Cassie. She's talking about things that she witnessed with Diddy's assistant. She is talking about so much in this lawsuit. So we're about to go ahead and deep dive it right now. That way you can see all of the allegations she's making in this lawsuit. She starts this lawsuit out talking about her alleged first encounters of Diddy's aggressive behavior towards women during making the band. She talks about how Diddy would verbally abuse women, calling them ugly and hoes and every name out of the book. And she explained during the first season of Making the Band 3, she saw Kim Porter leave the studio with visible facial injuries, including a lacerated lip while she was crying. And in that moment, she realized that Diddy was capable of committing acts of violence against women. She then went on to talk about the inhumane treatment that Danity Kane went through while producing Making the Band 3. She explained that Danity Kane did not have adequate food or sleep when they were working on Making the Band 3, and they said when they would bring this up to Diddy, he would say things like, "You just don't want this, y'all are not hungry enough, and I'm paying y'all to work." She explained that sometimes Danity Kane's members were forced to work for 36 to 48 hours without breaks, forcing them to choose between eating and sleeping. She explained how Diddy broke up Danity Kane after firing Aubrey O'Day, and this led her to have to work with Diddy on Dirty Money. She explained during the first recording of the Dirty Money album, she saw Cassie frying eggs for Diddy, and Diddy came downstairs mad, saying, "I've been asking you for my shit. I can't stand you. You never do it right." She said that Diddy pushed Cassie against the wall and choked her, and then picked up the scalding hot pan of eggs and threw it at her, causing her to fall to the ground in a fetal position. She said that he was cursing and screaming, and then Diddy Cassie up the stairs. Dawn Richard explained in 2009 after the Soul Train Awards that Diddy flew her to his house in New York for an after party. She said there were many well-known celebrities at this after party and a whole bunch of illegal drugs were being openly consumed. She said Diddy flew out dozens of young women and girls, some who appeared to be under to the party. He explained that the women arrived wearing little to no clothing and were given drugs and alcohol. Many of them appeared lethargic or passed out while Diddy and his guests performed acts on them. Richard believed that her presence at the party was a test to see whether Diddy could trust her or not. She explains that Diddy said things like, "This is a buffet, enjoy yourselves. This is what we do and this is how we party." She explains that she was shocked and horrified at the sight of Diddy and his guests violating these young women. She said that Diddy would have a lot of these fueled parties, and she felt like there was no way she could escape this because during entry to these parties, Diddy would take the phones of all of his guests and lock them up. She explained that bodyguards would actually guard all of these phones and she would have no way to leave these parties unless Diddy knew that she was leaving. She also explained how Diddy would invite law enforcement officers to these parties as a fear tactic and tell them, "Hey, you can't report me to authorities," because they won't care because they're engaging in this activity. Dawn Richard explains how Diddy would have multiple parties at his house in Miami, Florida that would last several days. She said at one party she witnessed Diddy openly stating that he had arranged for busloads of young exotic girls such as mixed Black and Asian, Indonesian, and albino girls. She explained that she witnessed young girls once again at these parties being violated. She explained in another instance she watched Diddy Cassie in the bathroom of a party in Los Angeles. She said this happened frequently when Cassie attempted to voice her opinion or stand up to Diddy. He would strike her or wrap his hands around her. She explained that after several times of watching this, they told Cassie that she needed to leave Diddy, and then Diddy became aware of this conversation and he got mad and said, "Y'all don't get in my relationship. Don't tell my what she needs to be doing. Just make money and shut up. I an artist. I shelve careers. You could be missing and you on a today." She explained how one time she went to a dinner with Diddy, Cassie, and other celebrities such as Neo, Usher, and Mr. Jimmy Iovine from Interscope Records for a deal that Diddy was doing with Interscope. During this dinner, Cassie and Diddy were actually having an argument in front of these dinner guests, and Diddy was screaming at Cassie and forcefully punching her stomach, causing her to double over in visible pain and crying in front of everybody at this dinner table. She explains how Cassie left this dinner and Diddy just casually kept talking to Usher, Neo, and Jimmy Iovine. She explained even after Jimmy Iovine watched Diddy commit this crime towards Cassie, he still went ahead and did his deal with Diddy anyway. She explains that all of these celebrities watching what happened to Cassie and never saying anything made her harmful of what Diddy could possibly do to her. Don Richard explained after non-stop working for Diddy, she ended up becoming severely ill and it was actually checked into a hospital. After getting out of the hospital, she gave Diddy her medical records, which said that she needed to take time off and she needed to prioritize sleeping and eating better, and Diddy actually scheduled her to go into the studio the very next day. She explained that she continued to watch Diddy abuse Cassie, and Cassie often wore sunglasses and makeup to cover up any visible injuries. She explains that she saw Diddy more angry at recording sessions, and he would often throw objects such as albums, laptops, food against the wall or at individuals. She explained at this point, after everything that she had saw and went through, she felt very fearful and she felt like there was no way that she could get away from Diddy. She explained during these recorded studio sessions, Diddy would often hold parties where he would invite young men and women who were often scarcely dressed and appeared to be underage. She said that they would use drugs and engage in acts. She explained that she would watch Diddy and his colleagues kissing and inappropriately these young women, and then immediately after they would leave the area to have sex. She explains how there would be many different times that Diddy would come into her dressing room when she was getting changed and would touch on her inappropriately. She explained that one night during a trip, she watched Diddy and several other males ganging Diddy's female assistant at a hotel pool. She explained on her flight back to the United States the next day, she asked Diddy, "Where's your assistant?" And he said, "I don't give a where that." She later learned that Diddy had taken his assistant's passport with him to the United States, leaving the assistant stranded in the United Kingdom. She explained how one time Diddy was infuriated that she was late to an event and he put his arm up and swung his fist towards her face, and she thought that he was going to hit her. She braced for impact, but before Diddy could her, Diddy's bodyguard grabbed her, escorted her out of the studio, and forced her into the Bad Boy Records Bentley that was parked outside. Once she was inside the Bentley, she realized there was no interior door handles and that she was locked inside with no way to escape. At this point, she called her father and told him what happened and told him that she needed his help and that she feared that she would go missing. She explains how she started to scream loud, but no one responded. She said it was late in the evening in the wintertime and the windows were heavily tinted. The interior of the car was dark except for faint interior lights. She said her belongings and winter coat were left in the studio and the ignition was off with no heat. She said she felt panic because all she could think about is Diddy's threats and that was running through her mind. She explained that her father drove to New York from Baltimore and arrived at the studio approximately 2 hours later while she was still locked in the car. Once her father arrived, he ordered to see his daughter, and Mr. Harvey Pierre ordered Diddy's bodyguard to release Richards from the vehicle. She said her dad waited 2 hours until he was able to talk to Diddy, and once he was able to talk to him, he said that he was going to call the police. She explained that Diddy told her father, "Think about your family and think about your daughter's career." She said that her father appeared very frightened by Diddy's threats and actions, which made Richard feel terrified for her and her family's safety. This is a lot of the highlights from Don Richards' lawsuit against Diddy. You guys let me know what you guys think of this bombshell lawsuit in the comments.
All right, so you guys just heard all of that. What can we add to Diddy's behavior? There's nothing to add. We know that he's evil as all get out. These are just more instances that prove that this man is sick, mentally demented, right? It's just clear and evident that Diddy had a bunch of yes men around him, people that were just interested in just making money because of the big brand that he was, right? And you talk about Jimmy Iovine from Interscope Records and how big he was. He could have stood up and said something in regards to Diddy putting paws on Cassie at that dinner. He's probably the only one in that room that had the cachet and the power to take a stand, but he didn't either. And just like Don's lawsuit said, after Jimmy Iovine witnessed what Diddy did to Cassie, he still did a deal with Diddy. And that's just crazy to me. Nobody just stepped up to the plate and said, yo, this is enough. Enough is enough. We're going to end this right here. And they could have put a halt on that cycle of abuse that Diddy exuded to all the people that were around him a long time ago. And now we are here. But maybe it was just a strategic plan to build him all the way up, to bring them all the way back down. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this email, all right? Now, before I get started, I just want to say that everything that I'm about to convey to you is all alleged. I have to protect the integrity of my platform, but at the end of the day, this is a very interesting email, and so I decided to bring it to you guys. And it says here, hello, I came across your channel and discovered you have done many videos about Kim Porter. You recently did a video about Kim Porter's dad wanting to reopen and reinvestigate the passing of his daughter, which is true, but I'm trying to figure out how that will work out if Diddy is putting assets in his name to hide money. Really? Mr. Porter has been compensated for his cooperation and loyalty to Diddy. I also have some tangible evidence in my possession that Kim sent me in 2017, and it will rip the head off the snake. I'm afraid to turn it over to the police because it would change my family lives forever, and I just lost my biggest support system in my husband, who passed away in June. I'm having a midlife crisis right now. Everything is falling apart for me. I'm so irritable on the inside and confused mentally on the proper steps I need to take moving forward. To reach me, you can call the number below and that will take you to my assistant. Do not share my email. I don't need anyone trying to track down my IP address. And then she proceeds to provide me with about 6 numbers, right? 6 numbers. Now, just like I said at the beginning of this video, all she was going to provide me, according to the email, was an assistant phone number, but she gave me 6 phone numbers of different individuals, and 3 of them being prominent law firms. Now, what I'm trying to understand, why are you hitting me up, right? Telling me that you don't know what to do with the information, but you're giving me numbers to law firms, prominent law firms. I looked them up. Now, I called and left a voicemail on the 3 numbers that weren't attached to any law firms, but I haven't heard anything from this particular individual yet. Now, just as I'm about to end this video, this just happened now, guys. You know, I keep it real with you all. I just got a phone call back from one of the law firms that she provided me. Now, get this. Just told you guys I didn't call the law firms. I called the other 3 numbers, right? So they must have given my number to this law firm, and now this law firm is calling me. What in the hell is going on? My plug is telling me this might be an individual that was a celebrity, a big time celebrity, or is a celebrity, or somebody that has some significance in the game that was attached to Kim Porter. I don't know that to be the case, but this is just very weird and strange to me. And something on the inside of me is saying, do not take that call, do not get on the phone, do not take that call. So listen, guys, I'm just gonna end the video here. I want you all to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that was discussed within this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I get with you guys later. Peace.